this is CMA Tejal Katariya with lots of energy. We are going to start with today's session. Today I am going to discuss about indoor management, ultra wires, and MOA and AOA concept. Basically, these are the concepts on which you are for sure in your exam going to get into one question, maybe for 6 marks or 4 marks, depends. But you will get one question. So many times students ask me, ma'am, what to write because the content is so much in your module that they don't understand what are the points which you supposed to write in your exam. So here I have taken out 5 points which are according to the module or the suggested answers what I have observed over the period of time. On that basis, I have concluded these 5 points which you're supposed to write for sure in your exam, because these will be the points which will be there in the suggested answer also. So understand, if you get a question on indoor management first. So indoor management, you may get a question that's straightforward question that clearly explain the indoor management and when explain the circumstances in which the outsiders dealing with the company cannot claim any relief. That this is nothing but basically the exceptions or the limitation of indoor management. The second, you will get the straightforward question of limitation. So in these 2 questions first, question number 1 and question number 3, understand what happens. If you get the question like question number 1, this will be approximately for 6 months. So please understand, write according to marks and don't write like whatever you know, don't write everything. So write according to marks. So the question number 1 will be approximately for 6 months. So in that 6 months, first you're supposed to explain what is indoor management, that means this part, and then you're supposed to mention the limitation, or you can say where the situation where outsiders cannot claim any relief. The second question, the question number 3, that is limitation of indoor management. No need to write the provision part. No need to write 5 points of provision. You just write the limitation. If this question will be basically for 4 marks. If you get for 4 marks, just write the limitation. Don't write these provision part or these 5 points. And if you get this question for 6 marks, then write the provision, the focus more on the limitation part, and just 1 or 2 lines out of these 5 lines you can write in your exam. So this is how you should allocate your marks. You should align your answer according to marks. This is the key. So please understand this. The second question is basically case study based question. So if you get first and third is straightforward, but if you get any case study based question on indoor management, like this type of question, then you're supposed to write the provision also. And if that case study needs that any of the explanation of limitation, then only write limitation. Otherwise, these 5 points of provision is more than sufficient. So how will you align your marks and answer? So if for question number 1, you're supposed to write everything. These 5 points of provision plus limitation also. Okay, because the question is such that if we all get only limitation, if 4 marks, only limitation, if 6 marks, only 1 or 2 points from provision. So 1 or 2 points of provision plus your limitation part. Okay, if you get for 4 marks, write only limitation part, nothing else than that. If you get case study based question in which there is no connection of limitation kind of a thing, then write only the provision part. Okay, write only the provision 5 points. Don't write limitations in that. So this is how you should allocate, and this is how you should distribute your entire answer. So first of all, understand what I have written in for 5 points now, which are there in your provision part. So first point is, according to the doctrine of indoor management, the outsiders dealing with the company, though are supposed to have satisfied themselves regarding the competency of the company to enter into the proposed contract, are also entitled to assume, as far as the internal compliance to the procedures and regulations by the company concerned, and everything has done properly. Basically, this line means that, see, basically the whoever and articles are the public documents, out which normally whosoever is dealing with the company should have the knowledge of it. It is presumed that they have the knowledge, but it is not presumed that outsiders are required or liable to understand the internal compliance of the company. So they are not liable for that. This is the first line. The second line they talk about, they are bound to examine the registered document of the company They are bound to examine the registered document of the company, that is MOA and AOA. So they are supposed to examine and inspect those documents to ensure that the lineage is not consistent with what they are not bound to do more. It means what if you are going beyond the powers, then it won't be allowed. So it is a duty that you should inspect the memorandum of the whatever the public documents are there. The third is they are fully entitled. They means who outsiders are fully entitled to have to presume the regularity or the compliance of the company with the internal procedures. Obviously, the fourth point, the doctrine is limitation of doctrine of constructive notice. Constructive notice basically focus where they are saying in indoor harassment, they are saying outsiders will get the protection. Constructive notice. Limitation of constructive notice is indoor harassment. So basically, they are saying that outsiders should not get any protection. So limitation of constructive notice is indoor harassment. Correct? So, and popularly called as the rule laid down in the Royal British Bank and Tertiary. Don't explain this case law. What a student does, student write the name of case law and they explain that entire case law. It is not required. It just, you should give only the reference of it. Please make sure that verses should be written properly. First verses, before you write verses part, that means this part is plaintiff and this party is defendant. So please don't alternate or don't interchange between them. So Royal British Bank versus Turkwan. This was the case law which talks about the aims to protect the outsiders against the company. And what happens in the internal company is the matter of public, it's not a matter of public knowledge. It is presumed that they are already done properly. So basically, these 2-3 lines are repeating again and again, focusing only on one point, that is, they are only the outsiders are only responsible to inspect the public documents. They are not responsible for internal management or internal process. So this is how we should write. These are the 5 points which you're supposed to write along with the case study name. Case study. After that, they are including limitation part. Limitation. And after the provision, you should write facts of this. I have already prepared a video which you will be getting after this video. In which I have already discussed how you should write the case law based questions. So provision, then facts of the case, or explanation, and then conclusion. So this is the provision which you can write anywhere, whenever you get the questions basically on indoor harassment. These are the famous questions which are already there in your past examinations. So I've taken only those questions. You may get, you might just change the name. You will get the same question also in your exam. So the next thing is limitation. Limitation, we have 3 points. First is actual or constructive knowledge of irregularity. That means what? That the person, if the rule does this rule, the rule does not apply. The rule means which rule indoor management means. Because these are the limitations to indoor management. That means indoor management is seeking protection from outside. So basically understand. I'll just give you a brief that first constructive notice is there. Okay, constructive notice. The second is indoor management. Okay, and you are having the exception or limitation of indoor management. Okay, of indoor management. So in this, what happens is in indoor management, you already know outsiders will get the protection. Constructive notice, limitation in indoor management, that means in this company will get the protection. And limitation of indoor management means again what? Company will get protection. So basically, you're supposed to understand this so that it will be very easy for you. So first point is actual or constructive knowledge of irregularity. This is nothing but if the outsiders are already having the knowledge of irregularity, it's happening in the company, then obviously the company will get the protection and outsider will not, because you already know that it's not possible or it is not allowed. So he already having the knowledge of irregularity. That's why one of the famous case law is Howard versus Patent Ivory. This is the case law which you're supposed to mention in your exam. That in this, in what happens in this case law, they have explained this also. So instead, if you get the 4-mark question or wherever it was, more of the question is more towards the limitation on the aspect, then only explain the case law. Otherwise, you should not. In this, however, the patent diary, they have explained because it is important. Because question is based on limitation, so you have to explain. Limitation, In this, the case of in this Harvard versus Parent Hierarchy, in this manufacturing company was there, directors would not defend the issue of debentures to themselves because they should have the knowledge or the extent to which they were leading the money to the company required assent of the general meeting, which they are not obtained. Basically, in this entire case law was all about that directors of the company cannot, cannot give the loan and issue the debentures to themselves without the permission or the what it is voting power, without the permission or the passing a special resolution in the general requirement shareholders. This was the basic law. But still they allowed it in the benches. There is companies there, directors are already aware what is happening in the company. Directors are entering into capacity debentures now, as that means they are outside for the company. They are the directors also. They know like the irregularity also. Still they enter into contract. Then that is not allowed. So this is basically the Harvard versus patent IIM. The second case where how Morales versus Hansen. This is optional. If you want to write, you can write. If you don't want to write, you don't write. You write only the first points more than sufficient of points are there. Don't explain two cases. One case was more than sufficient. I will recommend if you want to, you can. No problem at all. If you time permits, then do write. The second point is suspicion or irregularity. Basically, if you have any of the suspicion, in the first point already involved there is no irregularity. In second point, you have just a suspicion that there is some irregularity. And so that's why the point will not be applicable over here in this point. And because of suspicion, you will not get exempted. Outside, you will not get any protection. In this case, in this, you should write the case law name of Anand Bihari Lal versus Tejal Company. In this, where the plaintiff has accepted the transfer of the company's property from its accountant. This is very basic that no accountant will get authority to sell the assets of the company. But if the accountant is selling, that means you have to have some kind of suspicion over that person that how can he sell the company's property even though he's just an accountant. So this happened. So that's why straight away the contract was void. So this is what happened in another case. The third is forgery. This is quite tricky one. So I understand forgery is quite tricky one. Why? Because this is written in under the points of limitation of indoor management. But forgery is something which is the exception to the exception of indoor management or exception to the limitations of indoor management. If you have not understand, I'm explaining. The doctrine of indoor management applies only to irregularities which might otherwise affect the transaction. But it cannot apply to the forgery. That means what? Forgery may in the circumstances execute the rule. This has been clearly given in this case law, in which for the signature were forged. Understand? It is outside to just check whether the signature is there or not. It's not outside its responsibility to check the authenticity of that signature or to check whether the person supposed to sign has signed the document or somebody has forged his signature and given that document. So it's not the responsibility of outsider, and that's why in this situation, outsider will get protected, and that's the case law which you get many times in your exam. So this positive point is very important, but I understand in this particular point, outsider will get the protection because this is not a limitation of indoor management, even though they have written as 1 to 3 point, but still you're supposed to understand this because of the case law of Ruben versus Great Finkel. This is all about indoor management. The second question, the second answer, which is very important, is ultra-wise. You will get this PDF in the description box, don't worry. Specifically, what you can say, selected, I've taken selected points from all the past papers, articles and everything. So you will get these points. Even though you write these 9 points, 8 points in your exam, you will get it marks. Don't worry. So no need to write the entire thing, whatever is given, entire 100, whatever is given in your own. The second is all about ultra-wise. Ultra-wise basically talks about the beyond the powers. In this, what happens is the powers are supposed to be limited in nature. The company's powers or maybe the director's power is supposed to be limited in nature. But in this situation, if something happens where you are going beyond that power, that is not allowed, that is void. So second case law, third line, they are saying that it is a fundamental rule of the company law that the objects of the company, as stated in its memorandum, can be departed from only to the extent permitted by the act. Act means Companies Act. So you can depart, but only to the extent of the which the Companies Act is permitting. Thus, far and no further. Thus far and no further. And they have given the case law name of Ashbury Railway versus Ritchie. In the consequences of any in Ashbury case, if you guys remember, general contract was the word they have included in general contract. They are including the finance activity also, which is not allowed. So this is all about the Ashbury, and just explaining you what you can say, just hint kind of thing. And the consequences, any of the act done or a contract made by the company which travels beyond the powers not only of the directors but also of the company is void and inoperative in law. And therefore, they are not having on the company. That means if you're going beyond the powers of the beyond powers of director, but also of the company, so that means beyond the powers of Companies Act also. For example, the Companies Act says it is saying that you can pay most or you can take the most only up to the 20% of the leader share capital plus 3 reserves, only 20% of that. And you are taking growth beyond 20%, that means 25%, that means you are silencing Companies Act, which is not allowed, and that's why that act will become inoperative in law or void. This is the very important line which you supposed to write in your exam. On account of this, a company can be restrained from employing the funds for the purpose other than the sanctioned by the memorandum. That means obviously whenever you are investing money, it's your duty to check whether you are, it's your duty to ask them that whether your money deployed in the same way or the panel whatever is given in your memorandum, or they are using it somewhere else. That should not happen. Company should can be restrained from employing that. The next line is, the impact of doctrine of ultra vires is neither received on the ultra vires transaction nor it can be received on it. That means you cannot file a case. The other person will also not file a case, cannot file a case because it's ultra vires to the Companies Act only, so it's not allowed only. The memorandum is a public document. It's obviously allowed or it is open for the inspection to the public according to section 399. And therefore, whenever one person is dealing with the company, it is presumed that you already have knowledge. If you do anything which is beyond that, you cannot enforce it. Here they have given the example. If you get a 4-mark question, don't write this example. If you get 6-mark question, then do write this example. The last point is very important. Other than that, it's okay. The last point is 9th point. That is very, very important. An act which is ultra vires company being void cannot be ratified by the shareholders of company. That means if you are doing something which is beyond Companies Act, not allowed. Companies ratification is giving subsequent approval. Even the company, even the shareholders cannot subsequently approve it. The second line, sometimes an act is ultra vires can be regularized by ratifying subsequently because it is within your Companies Act. But for instance, if any act ultra vires the powers of directors, then the shareholder can ratify. And if directors were allowed only to take a only borrow money only up to the 10% of the paid share capital and free reserves. But the directors borrows beyond that at least 15%. But 15% is within Companies Act, so that is allowed. Then shareholder can ratify it. But if the director is taking it's beyond director's powers within Companies Act powers, then that's okay. Shareholder can ratify it very clearly. If it is ultra vires the articles of the company can alter the articles also. If it is beyond the powers of articles of association, that is what you are saying, that you are doing anything which is not within the powers of articles of association. If it is not within the powers of articles of association, then you can ratify that also. Shareholders can ratify that also, and they can alter the articles of association also. So basically, you understand, if anything goes beyond Companies Act, cannot be ratified. Otherwise, shareholder can ratify or alter the articles of association. This is all about the ultra vires point. Ultra vires, you're supposed to write only these many points, and then your answer is done. You may get a case study question also. I have given only the conclusion part. Provision, I have already given earlier 9 points, and this is the conclusion part. The last that I want to discuss is all about memorandum. Memorandum is nothing but what you will get up. Either you will get the question as explain the content of the memorandum, or you will get the question as memorandum of association is a chartered document of a company. These are the two questions, or these two questions are together. So how is this supposed to write? If you get both of the question, write everything whatever is given in your answer. If you get only the first part, that means they are asking about content, then write only up to the point 3. If they ask about content, then write only fourth point. This is how you distribute your answer. Now, let's understand what is given in memorandum. First of all, these are the keywords. Only these keywords are relevant. First, this is a charter document. Secondly, in this, it constitutes that it defines the scope and power of the company. Third, basically it's very foundation on which the whole of the advisory of the company is built. And then the second point. This is the first point, and this point should be as it is, because these points will have key words in examiners finding. So please, first point you should write as it is. The second point, object of registry or memorandum of association. In this, object is what that it's nothing but the issue beyond operation. Shareholders and creditor, it is presumed that they have read it. According to the section 399, it's a public document, so you're supposed to inspect the document. You have the right to inspect the document. It's an open document. These are the 3 points. I have to say these are the 3 points which are key. 3 point, if you want to write, you write. Otherwise, even though you skip it, that's okay. And in the last line, you say what it is to go beyond. Then the act will become ultra vires, and then if it is beyond omni also, that it becomes void. Then next is content. Now content, in the content of memorandum, you have lot of information given in their module. But as summarize, only this much of important information is required. If question asks for 6 marks only about the content, then you're supposed to modify this answer a bit. Otherwise, this much is sufficient. If first content is all on name clause, publicly limited, privately limited, and in case of section 8, not applicable. So these are 3 lines which you will write in a clause. Second is register office. Obviously, register office place you're supposed to write in this clause. Third is object clause. Obviously, you're supposed to mention your objects of the company. Fourth is liability clause. You're supposed to write whether your liability is limited or unlimited. If you get the question for 6 marks, then elaborate more 3 points: company limited versus limited by and unlimited. If you are handling the question for 6 marks, only don't try to elaborate, don't waste your time. The next is capital clause, in which you're supposed to mention authorized chapter, and last is association clause. In this line, it word every subscriber to the memorandum shall take at least 1 share and shall write the name of the name and the number of shares taken by him. This much is very, very important. This is all about the memorandum, indoor management, and ultra vires. These are the key points which you're supposed to write in your exam. With this, I end this session. Let me know in the comment section which are the concepts which you still feel that they are quite difficult. Please do like, share, support, so that in comment also, so that I get to know that you know that you are getting the benefit of my efforts, and this is going to be very, very useful for all of you. So please keep supporting, keep loving, take care, bye bye, keep studying.